Congratulations. The series is quite captivating and a bit haunting,
Yeah.
and your character quite unique, different, gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah, so congrats.
Thank you.
Let's dive in there. How would you? I have all sorts of ways to describe Steven Zabłocki, I believe is how you say his last name. He's Polish. I'm Polish.
Yeah. Stefan Zawadzki. Yeah, yeah,
So, how would you describe your incredibly complex character?
yeah. He is someone who's very driven by his faith. He's a very isolated uh man. He kind of works in his fish store. That's kind of where he feels safest, I think. Something that I was working with when I was working on it is this idea that he almost wishes he could be underwater because everything's quiet. Um, but I think that he is desperate for connection. I think he's desperate for spiritual connection and emotional connection and physical connection. And I think that that's kind of, from my approach, that's kind of where I put my focus. I think I tried to simplify it as much as I could. But yeah, he's in search of connection and redemption.
Very true. Uh, how trippy was it to play somebody so complex, troubled?
Yeah, I mean, it's always interesting when you approach a character that is intense and there's a lot going on. I mean, I think that's what interested me about it is that there felt like there was a lot going on under the surface that you get to explore. Um, yeah, I mean, you try to get yourself as close to the character as you can. And you have to have compassion for him. You can't vilify him because then you're not gonna fight for him. And which is very a weird position to be put in with a character like this. But I think for me, what Alma and I wanted to focus on was the physicality, and that was kind of where we put our attention, was kind of how his trauma lives in his body and how that manifests in his actions.
Right. Yeah, that's a very interesting distinction. So
Yeah.
let's chat more about Natalie Portman and
Hmm.
working alongside the incredible Natalie Portman, because all your scenes you have with Natalie. And
Yeah.
um, so can you take us through how you both fleshed out working together on those scenes, especially in the later episodes when things get a little more heated?
Yeah. Well, I think it all started with Alma. Kind of, she was the captain. She was guiding everyone and creating the atmosphere that we, played around in. But Natalie was just she was a very wonderful person to work with. I think there was a lot of collaboration and exploration, and she was willing to try things, and that's you know not always the case. So it's really exciting when you kind of get that judgment-free zone where you just get to explore and figure stuff out. So yeah, I think there was a lot of discovery with Alma, Natalie, and I, a lot of discussion about how their relationship builds, because there kind of is this uncovering of a puzzle in their past and how that affects their present as the scenes go on. So I think that intensity had to build, and it is weird. Yeah, there is a sort of spark. There is a weird relationship that develops between them. So I think a lot of it we discovered in the scenes when we were doing the takes, and then afterwards we talk about it and say what worked, what didn't work, how do we feel like that is in line with what we're trying to do. But yeah, I think it all starts with Alma though.
Right, right. And for readers that viewers, readers that might not know, I mean, Natalie Portman's character leaves her marriage. She tries to become this investigative
Yeah.
journalist to find out who killed this young girl. And then there's another thing that swirls in, and then your characters, I don't want to give too much away, but
Yeah.
you two are linked in some way, and then there's more investigation, and it's very great how it all plays out. Can you describe the mood on the set? What was the mood on the set? Because it's very kind of trippy, noir,
Mm.
heavy kind of drama, but I imagine sometimes the mood on the set isn't always like that. It's different. So
No, yeah, it kind of can't be. If the mood's on the set, if the story is so dark and intense and the mood on the set is dark and intense, you're just gonna have an awful time. It's like there's no levity. So I think that we had a really nice balance of kind of having this creative energy on the set, which was very exciting and yeah. So I think that for us, we kept the darkness in the story, and then offset or off, when the camera was not rolling, I think that there was levity, there was play. It did feel like play. It felt like exploration. So I think that that's how you keep going in when you're telling a story like this.
Right, right. So I would imagine Oppenheimer changed your life in some way, some
Yeah.
way. This billion-dollar blockbuster movie. How would you say that film shifted maybe the trajectory of things for you?
Oh, I mean, I have no idea. I don't think I can say, but I know that gave me it gave me kind of it it encouraged me to just want to work with wonderful, wonderful people. I mean, who doesn't want to work with the people that I've with Alma and Chris and people like that? But I think that it just whenever you're in an environment that people are at the top of their game, I feel like it just automatically makes me better. And so I think that that's kind of what I found with Oppenheimer and Lady in the Lake. I think that I was surrounded by such incredible, incredibly brilliant creatives that it raises the bar in a way of like what I want to expect from myself and how I want to approach work. So I think that's definitely something that gave me.
I love that. What would you say is one or two things you learned from Cillian Murphy, and Matt Damon?
Ooh, honestly, they're just both such wonderful people, and I think you never know how that's going to work out when you have really two powerhouses. They're just both extremely generous men, and I think that how they carried themselves on a set really showed me how you can lead a movie and just be a lovely, supportive person off camera. I think that the way they approach their work is very focused, but it's not overindulgent. It's yeah, I think working with them was what definitely one of the highlights of my career, obviously. But I think watching Killian, because I worked mostly with Killian, watching how he really approached the work, and how he kind of all left it on set, didn't take it home with him. I think that that's really amazing to watch.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. So, what would be your dream role?
Ah, man. It's so funny. People ask me that and I never have a specific answer. I never know because I think that I think what's so for me, I love the idea of staying open to what is presented to me. I think I have aspirations to do as many different things as I can and surprise myself with the things that I do. So I actually am not sure that I have a dream role. I just know that I would want it to challenge me, and I would want it to allow me to explore parts of myself that maybe I haven't explored before.
I love that. So, who is the one person that was like your person that said, go for it, be an actor, be a creative person, or to, not just an actor, but just express your creativity?
Honestly, probably my parents. I mean, I've been doing this since I was a kid. I've been doing community theater and acting classes and stuff since I was a kid, and I think that they or were always very encouraging. They kind of saw that that is what I guess needed to do. So probably them. They were definitely very encouraging and supportive, which I'm really grateful for. But honestly, I've had so many people along the way, teachers, um, people that I've been in shows with that have been so encouraging and inspiring. So I think the list could go on, but I think my parents are the biggest biggest ones.
I love that. So, what's one great thing you learned from Natalie Portman?
How generous of an actor she is. I think there were moments when we were filming that when the camera wasn't on her, she was giving me so much to work off of. And again, you don't get that a lot of the time with actors, especially really successful actors. Sometimes they don't even show up for their coverage. So to have someone who's been around and so established, really giving me her all when the camera wasn't even on her. I mean, I think that just watching that is just such an inspiration, and it honestly showed me how much I can give to another actor.
I love that. Well, you seem very deep, curious, and introspective, which is a cool thing to be in this world. I'll ask you one last question. What's the most interesting thing you've been learning about yourself lately?
Oh, wow. Wow. Um, hmm. I think this feels like a constant struggle, I imagine, for a lot of people, but it's how to trust myself. How to trust my instinct about things. I think that it's really easy to second guess yourself and tell yourself that you're wrong, which I think a certain level of skepticism is important, but but I think yeah, learning to trust myself, I think is something that I'm discovering.
I love that. And what are you most excited about next?
Um,
What can
I mean, I'm excited for the premiere tonight. We're doing the Lady in the Lake premiere, so I'm really excited to see a bunch of people that I've worked with that I hadn't seen. And I'm excited to see Alma and celebrate. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Well, hey, thank you so much for your time. It's great to connect with you, and congrats on this series. It's very captivating.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to talk to you.
Yeah, be well. Have a great, great day.
Thanks, you too.